Working as intended. Wonderful. OBS is a demon and a nightmare, and I hate it. I'm having to use it because this is my job. So anyway, yes, what I was saying before the internet ate my voice is I was saying thank you to Jerry for giving a rundown of my track record with Choice of games. Clearly a smear campaign because I'm the best at these games and I make the best decisions. I'm very excited to get back to this game. Because if you missed me playing the demo, I basically almost got eaten by a vampire, and then a very curmudgeonly but nice old man saved me. And then when he brought me to his friends and they're like, hey, we saved you and protected you. Do you want to join us and help us fight the monsters of the night? I said deuces and I left them. And I said, no, thanks. Thanks for all the assistance and for saving my life, but I don't owe you anything. I'm holding space for myself. And by holding space, what I meant by that was I'm going to go live on the street because I don't have a home. Because in the beginning, I'm homeless, and they offered me a home, and I said, no, thank you. Because I'm holding space for myself. Hi, everybody. Yes, missed you too, Vin. Hello from France. Hello from Germany. Okay, so I'm excited to jump back into it. And yeah, I got a trophy as soon as I turned the game on to set the stream up, which obviously didn't set my microphone up, or OBS doesn't like my microphone anymore, whatever it is. And I got a trophy for making that decision, which wasn't available in the demo. So that was pretty sweet. Not gonna lie, I was pretty proud of myself for that. How to use a lone wolf hunter who don't need no home. I don't need no man. Okay. So this is 3 days later of me living on the street and trying to make some sort of money from somewhere. I think I was panhandling in like the nice part of town and they kicked me out a bunch of times. I think that was my plan because I make good decisions. Oh, I also got an apartment. That's right. I got a really shitty apartment. I don't know how. I don't know how I had enough money for that, but I did. Van life, but without a van? Yes. I also don't remember my name. So hopefully someone says my name at one point because I don't remember what it is anymore. You wake to a knock at your door. I'll just be anonymous. It's been 2 days since you found this place. 2 days in which your scrapes and bruises have healed. Right, I did get hurt. Yeah. 2 days in which you've been able to reel in some of the thoughts that the events of the violent rainy night had unraveled. 2 nights to make sense of it all and get used to the idea that despite everything, there is someone out there who is probably still hunting you. Yeah, but I'm not worried about it because I'm holding space. With a long, lazy yawn, you drag yourself out of the narrow, lumpy bed, throwing off the set of thin blankets. The night might have been chilly, but as you learned the other evening, heat rises, and the warmth from the first and second floors was more than enough to make your room on the third a little too toasty even for your liking. That's such a fact, because I live on the third floor, and I mean, I turn my heats on, like, maybe when it's January, but, like, I can go for a long time before I turn my heat on because of that. So that's facts. You're living in a van down by the river. I'm gonna be a great hunter. A careful hunter doesn't tell anyone their name. Yeah, right, that's why I'm doing it. It's not because I forgot my own name. Again, a knock echoes through the door, a sound that is firm but almost gentle. More a question than a demand. Give me a minute, you shout. Get out of here! As you pull your clothes on and blink the last remnants of sleep out of your eyes. With steps still dragging from the tiredness of sleep, you make your way across the creaking boards to the door. You open up to find yourself greeted by the smiling face of the old man from the theater, Zheng. Yeah, the really, really nice guy who, like, gave me clothes and stuff and who's, like, their leader. And I basically just, like, flipped him off and left, yeah. Clearly he's more of a morning person than you are. Good morning, he says as brightly as his many years will let him. Might I come in? He raises a brown paper bag in one hand and a thermos in the other. I've brought you some breakfast. Is that tea? I should ask how he knows where I am, but I'm not gonna because I don't want him to think that I'm not smart. I want him to think me smart, so I'm not gonna ask that question. What I am going to focus on is the tea. Very independent hunter. Coffee, actually. Zheng looks at the thermos in his hand for a moment. Tea I find more useful for relaxing in the evenings, same. When one wishes to be awake in the morning, coffee serves far better. He frowns for a moment. It is also unfortunately quite heavy. Might I come in and set this down? Sure, come on in. I wanted the food. I'm hungry. Zheng smiles as he steps inside, putting the thermos and the package down on your wobbly little table before settling in one of your chairs with a groan. Forgive me, I am not as vigorous as I once was, although I am sure that is quite obvious. Zheng reaches into his pockets and produces 2 battered plastic cups. Then he unscrews the lid of the thermos and pours steaming hot black liquid into one cup and then the other. The smell of freshly brewed and maybe even freshly ground coffee strong enough to reach across the space between you and Nestle. Oh, Nestle. I'm sorry. Nestle itself gently against your nostrils. The old man opens the foil package next. He takes out 2 pairs of cheap wooden takeout chopsticks, but the food inside is entirely different from any takeout food you've ever seen. Through the rising clouds of aromatic steam, you see a mass of little slivers of pale yellow, glistening with oil and speckled with fragments of black peppercorns. Piercing through the aroma of the coffee comes the smell of salt, of vinegar, and warm spices. Fuck, you'd forgotten how hungry you were. I didn't. That's the only thing I was thinking about, actually. The story's narrative needs you to work with us, so have food. You know what? That works for me. Nestle ad placement. I'm so sorry. I haven't seen the word nestle in so long. I obviously see the word Nestle a lot often than I see the word nestle, and that's just where my brain went. Okay. Well, I let him in because I wanted the coffee. No offense. I go, come on. I'm trying not to. Okay, because I asked if it was tea, I will go, I'm not big on coffee, but I'll definitely have some breakfast because obviously I want it. Coffee is one thing, but after 3 days of eating almost nothing but cold granola bars, you couldn't say no to fresh, warm food, even if you wanted to. Game, I could have. There were options too. Don't test me. And it's damn good food too. The little slivers of potato are crisp as you bite down on them, but soft as you swallow, filling your body with warmth. Delicately salted, the vinegar and pepper give it just enough of an acidic bite. Once you start eating, you find it almost impossible to stop. Is this like salt and pepper chips like you can get in a lot of the Chinese food restaurants in England? I don't know. I don't know anything about Chinese food, and I don't know anything about England or Canada for that matter. I'm the perfect person to play this game. Zheng simply watches you devour almost the whole thing with a look of quiet amusement. He sips at his own cup once or twice. He reaches out with his own chopsticks to pluck a delicate mouthful free from the foil, but mostly he seems content to simply sit there. And you eat and eat and eat until there's almost nothing left. So, you have been in the Downtown Eastside for 3 days now, he finally says as he puts away the food and caps the thermos again. How do you find it? It's fucking miserable. You don't really know how else to describe it. It'd been bad before when you were living in a tent in a public park. Now, it's somehow gotten worse. In the past few days, you've been lied to, attacked, and done shit you really didn't have to. You really wish you didn't have to. Just so you could live in a place with 4 walls, a roof, and a door that locks. That's not even counting the fact that you're still probably being chased by a supernatural blood-sucking killer. I appreciate that the narrative of the story is forming to the airheadedness that I'm role-playing as. But when you tell Zheng that, he only sighs. That is one side to it, to be sure, but things could always be worse. You're gonna have to forgive me here, old man, but how exactly? There is still order of sorts. People can still make their lives and learn to trust each other, Zheng observes. Even when there is no government or police, human beings can still help each other. Will rescued you. He cared enough to risk his own life, and you're basically a fart in the elevator and walked out. Despite his standoffish demeanor, he brought you to us to keep you safe, and despite your refusal to join us, that is what we still intend to do. Why? Why are you being so nice for me? Why are you being so nice to me? I don't want to just sit in the sidelines. I want to help you guys. Just do a 180 because you gave me some food. Good for them, but I'm more worried about me, which is why I left. Do you understand my logic and reasoning? I don't. So the old man likes to watch. Things could still be worse. Suddenly starts raining outside. I know. If Zheng's offended or taken aback by the bluntness of your answer, he doesn't show it. Instead, he only nods thoughtfully. Very well then, he asks. What is it you want? What is it I want? Besides more food. I think even when I think I'm definitely a foodie. I'm definitely someone who has like who has food insecurity, so has like sort of a neurosis about it, because I think even in the beginning of the demo, when I had a choice to take things, I think I took food. I might have taken my ID, but I'm pretty sure I debated whether I would take food or ID. So obviously this character, who doesn't have a name, the name is somewhere. We haven't found it yet. I think they have a huge amount of food insecurity. If I had the money to buy weapons to defend myself with, I'd feel a lot safer, and I would just sit in my apartment with my weapons and clean my weapons at monsters all day. Zheng frowns. Money will not keep you safe from the monsters. It may even make you a greater target. Money makes me safer, you reply. It let me afford this place, which isn't great, but it's got a door that locks and a window that closes, which is a hell of a lot better than having to sleep in the street. Perhaps, the old man concedes, but do not forget that while money is a means to an end, it is not the only such means. A great many things which would otherwise cost money might be just as easily earned by winning the trust of those around you. I don't need advice from you, old man. I'm gonna be really just like, no one's gonna like me. Then don't take it, Zheng replies bluntly. I give advice because I have little else to offer, but if you think you know better, then I am not in a position to tell you otherwise. The old man shifts a little, wincing as he does so. Now I believe I may have sat down here for far too long for my own good. He picks himself up, slowly, carefully, as if he's afraid of pulling a muscle. I hope you have a good morning. He retrieves his thermos, his cups, his chopsticks, and his now empty foil packet, but before he leaves, he turns towards you one last time. Oh yes, and before I forget, one last piece of advice. One perhaps more practical to your circumstances. You may want to find a way to get some food. I suspect what you have brought with you will not last indefinitely, and I'm afraid I cannot come out here to bring you breakfast every day. With that final word, he slips his flat cap back onto his snow-white head and leaves you once again alone. I'm gonna push the game to see how much I can avoid joining the cell. How much it's gonna let me push it. What a nice old man, sure. The sun is high in the sky now, or at least it probably would be if it weren't hidden behind the thick blanket of cloud which seems like a permanent fixture over the city. You've got the whole day ahead of you. Only question is, what do you do with it? You know the one thing you can't do, of course, just sit and wait. Even if the blood-sucking monster in the dark doesn't get you, a lack of food will. You'll need to stock up before you run out. Then there's the question of rent. You may have a place to live right now, but that's only going to last for the next few days until you're able to scrape up enough cash to pay for next week. After the oh god, it's a weekly rent? After the ordeal of getting enough the first time around, you're not looking forward to doing it again, let alone the prospect of repeating the process week after week. But if you want to keep living in a place with a roof, then you're gonna have to put in the work. And then there's the elephant in the room, or rather the vampire in the back alley. You don't know where he went, but you do know he's back out there, and you'd bet money he's still planning to finish the job. It might be tonight or tomorrow night or next week, but the one thing that you can't afford to do is assume he's done with you, because that's how you're going to end up face down dead, sucked as dry as a Tory politician's heart. But what are you going to do about it? I'm sure that is a reference to political... I don't know. I'm sorry. I don't know the political parties in Canada. But what are you going to do about it? You could buy yourself some weapons or some other tools that might help in a pinch, but you doubt any street vendors sell holy water or steaks or whatever the fuck it is vampires are actually weak against. And as much as you might hate to admit it, Zheng had a point. Your best bet now is to find some allies. The game's like, please engage with the story. I'm like a player at a table. I'm like the GM's worst nightmare of a player at a table who doesn't want to engage with this, who doesn't want to touch the story. Some people who could watch your back or help give you some kind of idea of what you're facing. If one of your neighbors sees something weird in the dark, or one of Zheng's fellow hunters knows something about vampires you don't, then you'd rather have them come to you than keep it to themselves. That means winning their trust, or at least getting to know them. That might be a good place to start. Can you believe that? Can you believe it? I'm being railroaded. I'm kidding. I need to stock up on food, though. I'm hungry. Turning this game into a life sim, yeah. I thought that was UK, Tori. I couldn't tell you. I'm so sorry. I couldn't tell you. I pay attention to the politics in Germany and in America and in general the European Union, and outside of that, I don't have the brain space for it. I'm not that smart. Your current food situation is, in a word, precarious. You have a reserve of food left, enough that you might want to consider finding a way to store it all, but that doesn't mean you can't use more. You know how quickly things can get bad, and the more food you have on hand now, the more likely you'll be able to have some kind of safety net if the floor collapses out from under you again. Question is, where is this food going to come from? There are food banks, of course, although not as many of them as you would have expected in a place like this. Maybe it's the crime or the reputation this place has, but you've seen precious few of them on the street in your time here, which means that the ones that do hang on are probably trying to support way more people than they actually can. Go to a food bank and you probably won't have much choice in the food you can get, if you can get any at all. You'd consider just buying food, but you're still flat broke. Without cash, that's just not an option. Which leaves you with one last desperate option: stealing. It wouldn't be hard to pull off. It's not like street vendors or even food stalls can afford security guards. All you'd need to do is wait until the right back is turned, grab what you can, and run. Pulling it off wouldn't be the problem. The problem would be what happens after. In the Downtown Eastside, there are eyes everywhere, and no matter what you do, someone will see you. Stealing food might be able to feed you for a few days, but as a reputation as a thief, that would follow you forever. But if you're that desperate, I don't have a choice. I gotta steal the food! 2 are grayed out. Yeah, I guess they don't have any money. As a Canadian, we have some British isms, but I don't know anyone who unironically says Tory. Maybe they were referring to the UK party. I don't know. How much does Canada care about UK politics in general? Like in a really general way. Stealing food, you kind of feel bad just thinking about it. It's not that you're bleeding heart or anything. You wouldn't have made it this far if you were. When there's no scraps on the table, it's dog eat dog, and you don't plan on being the dog who gets eaten. Problem is, if you do pull it off, you will be seen, and whoever sees you is almost certain to tell other people. You'll get yourself a reputation. The kind that, oh my god, guys talk about me, and gets you the wrong kind of attention. The kind that gets you enemies, and you sure as fuck don't need any more of those. For a few hours, you try to thread the needle, find a place you barely might be able to steal from without catching any attention. You don't find any. In fact, you barely find any useful prospects at all. In the end, it comes down to just 2. One is a street vendor on a particularly busy street corner, just one guy trying so hard to sell his stuff to anyone passing that he doesn't seem to even notice what's going on right next to him. He's got a small amount of cans with him, soup and beans mostly, but some fruit too. You could grab those pretty easily. But with so many people around, you're almost sure to get spotted, and anyone who gets a reputation for stealing from one street vendor is going to get on the bad side of all the others before long. Then there's the other option, an honest-to-fuck restaurant. One of the few still working in this neighborhood, a genuine anomaly, one not only able to stay in business, but with owners confident enough to just leave crates of food sitting on their rear loading dock. Rear loading dock. It only takes a few minutes of watching to see why. Everyone inside is big, tanned, broad shoulders. You could bet money that they're part of Jangle's organization. All right, he was like the crime lord that we also flipped off. Nice. Which means the owners are too. So there are your options. Steal from the street vendor and piss off all the other street vendors, or steal from the gang and possibly risk worse. Fuck. Yes. I'll steal from the restaurant. I'll steal from the restaurant simply because I feel like stealing from a street vendor is like the shittier option. And I'm not like a 100% douchebag, just like 98%. Well, since we are doing crime, now we need to be gay and given the option. Yes, absolutely. Yes and no. We care more about American politics just due to proximity and trade. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk. You know what? That makes sense. Oh. Yeah. The actual stealing is the easy part. You just walk up to the crates, grab one, and start walking off. You don't even think anyone notices you. At least until you hear shouts of alarm behind you. You don't waste time in stopping to look. You head right for the side alleys at a dead run, hoping that your pursuers lack the time or the effort to chase you down. You take turns almost at random, clutching the plastic crate of stolen food as close to you as possible as... The image is hilarious. As you cross what feels like the entire downtown Eastside at a dead sprint until you're sure that there's nobody chasing you. I'm just picturing them running with the crate and going like, this is so much better than being in that theater with those other freaks. Only then do you stop, catch your breath, and take a look at exactly what you've managed to snag. A quick look through the plastic crate yields a few cans of tomatoes, a bag of sea salt, delicious, some fruit, and a big bag of saltine crackers. Not exactly fine dining, but it'll keep you alive and fed for a few days, maybe even a week. The problem is what comes after. Jangles and his gang are probably the last people you want to piss off, especially if you plan on staying in the downtown east side for much longer. Now you've gone and done just that. Well, at least I have saltines. The worst part of it is, sooner rather than later, the food that you have is going to run out, which means that unless you find another way to get food, you're going to have to do this again. Which means it's only going to be a matter of time before you become big enough of a problem for the gangs to do something about you. At which point starving to death might seem like the better option. God, this game is such a worrywart. The next day dawns as cold and gloomy as the last, the rain rattling against the grimy panes of your single window as you wake up on your thin, lumpy little mattress. You spend a moment remembering where you are, then another making sure the itchy lumps on your armpit are just the result of a regular mosquito or spider, not a dreaded sign of bed bugs. Thankfully, the bites don't have any red lines on them. Looks like you're safe, at least from that direction. I'm glad my character knows. I have no idea what bed bug bites look like and the difference between them. But the real threat won't be coming from under your bed. Your attacker is still out there somewhere, and it'll only be a matter of time before he tracks you down to this place. When he does, then you better be ready for him, or your neighbors are probably going to find out what's left of you drained like an empty beer can in the dark alley outside your window. Yeah, but I would have lived, man. I would have lived my way. Which means you better use what time you have wisely. I don't know if I will. Maybe I'll just do what I want to do. I should go shopping. I don't have any money. I should get to know some of the people here, maybe, and maybe try and figure out if any of them work for Jangles and they're looking for me. Or if they have any food I can take. When you had lived in the park encampment, you'd more or less kept to yourself. You thought it would be easier that way, that it would be a waste of time and effort to try and make friends with people who might be gone tomorrow. That meant you had more to spare for yourself. It also meant that when cops came, there was nobody willing to stick their neck out to warn you, and that when the one bloodsucker tried to kill you, nobody else was willing to help or run interference for you either. Being a shut-in nearly got you killed. You're not making that mistake again. Of course, you can't just go around your building knocking on doors. Sure you can. Introducing yourself. It's not that kind of neighborhood. You quickly learned that people don't like being bothered here behind their closed doors. The streets, however, that's entirely different. You're for the streets! And the sidewalk is far from empty, even early in the morning. In the doorways and crevices, there are people with nowhere else to go, making it through another day as best they can. In front of doorways and boarded up shop windows, figures gather in groups of 3 or 4, passing the time the only way they can in a place where the prospect of regular work is more wishful thinking than anything close to reality. And then there are the street vendors who spread their blankets out on busy street corners and lay out everything they've scrounged or bought from elsewhere, in the hopes that they might sell enough to afford the rent and food which will buy them the time to keep themselves in business for another month, another week, or even another day. Hey, kid! It's one of those vendors who calls out to you as you walk past that morning in your effort to get to know the people around you. A weathered-looking woman with a streak of faded blue hair dye in her hair and a set of ill-fitting, thick-rimmed glasses. Rambling Jen, you've heard other people call her. You turn around. Yeah? I've seen you walking around a lot, she says. You gotta be somewhere? You got somewhere to be? Might I say it right? You shake your head. Just trying to get to know everyone. But she doesn't seem to hear that last bit. Great, because I got somewhere I need to be and I might be gone for a bit. she says, her voice slowly pitching higher and going faster with every word. Some trouble with the welfare people. They say I filled out a form wrong, printed where I should have signed. Maybe that's what they think. Not my fault they can't read my handwriting. I mean, the government decides what they teach us in school, so you think they'd be able to read the exact same letters they teach us. It's a goddamn mystery why they don't. What's all the tax money going to? I used to wonder about that a lot back when I worked in... She keeps going and going. You're not even sure if she takes a breath. That was kind of sounding like Marge Simpson's sister, one of her sisters. Anyway, that was until she glances idly at a battered phone just long enough for her eyes to fly wide. Shit, I gotta go. She springs to her feet. Watch my stuff. Don't sell anything. I'll be right back. Fuck. Hey. But it's too late. She's already sprinting off into the crowd, faster than you've ever seen her move. So with nothing better to do, you clear out a space behind Rambling Jen's blanket, make yourself comfortable, and hope she doesn't take too long to get back. As a Canadian, seeing that the true battle in this hunter game is the cost of living, yes. There are neighborhoods where you could walk around and knock on everyone's door just to say hi. Okay, so... The cost of living here in Germany, at least the part of Germany I live in, isn't that crazy bad. It's gone up, like everywhere has gone up, but not in such an astronomical way. And yeah, there's a real, okay, I don't mean to explain. It's not really important. But, so the buildings, at least most, not every apartment building, but like a lot of the older ones, it's sort of a community because you're all responsible for cleaning the building. So like you get together and everybody takes turns cleaning the building, like sweeping out the basement and sweeping out the front and wiping down the stairwells and stuff. So you do get to know your neighbors, and it's pretty common that you knock on people's doors, and like when it's holidays, you bring food back and forth to each other, stuff like that. That's pretty common. I've lived here for 12 years. That's like a pretty common thing, but I know that that's not the norm everywhere, even in Europe. Yeah, Germans, believe it or not, Germans actually are pretty friendly. They just don't look friendly. I don't know how to explain it any other way. Things don't go too badly for the first few minutes. Once or twice, you get someone asking about an item or two on the blanket, but they lose their interest once you tell them that you're just watching the spot for someone else. After a while, you start to get bored and a bit worried. How long is this supposed to take? What happens if you end up needing to go somewhere? Do you ask someone else to watch the spot for you? After a while, even asking yourself those questions gets boring. All you have left to keep your attention are the sounds of the passing crowd, the feeling of cold concrete on your ass, and the genuinely weird collection of items spread out in front of you. You're not sure where Rambling Jen gets all this stuff, but you doubt it was from the same place. There are t-shirts emblazoned with the names of bands you've never heard of, vinyl records, batteries, old electronic devices which you've never actually seen anyone use. You think that one in the corner is called a cassette player. Oh god. No, I can't imagine anyone. Oh my god, anyone who's used a cassette player is so old. I definitely never owned a Walkman. And even a small pile of canned food, which, hey, wait a minute. One of those cans is moving. You shift yourself forward just in time to catch a glimpse of a small, skinny hand wrapping itself around one of those cans of food on the far corner of the blanket. Your eyes follow that hand up to an equally skinny arm, then to a gaunt little face peeking out of the crowd. His eyes go wide. He's seen you, and he knows you've seen him. Almost by reflex, his arm pulls back, taking the can with it. You can see his little legs tense up as he prepares to run. If you want to stop him, then you're going to have to act now. All of these are grayed out, but I actually probably don't know why, but it's probably because I don't have any money, and I'm also a thief, so I don't know. The kid's clearly desperate. I'll just let him go, and then Rambling Jen will be mad at me, and this was all for nothing, probably. Vancouver is notorious for being damn near unlivable with its rent costs. I have heard that over in North America things are quite awful. Ghost can. You know you're supposed to stop this kid, but I mean, come on. Look at him. He's small, he's hungry, he's probably desperate, or he wouldn't be stealing in the first place. He isn't going after the records or the t-shirts, he's going after the food. Which means whether you cut him some slack or not is probably going to mean the difference between him going hungry today or not. How could you not feel for him? You've been in that situation before, and you remember how desperate you felt, how powerless, what, like yesterday? Nothing mattered except making sure you could eat that day. It's kind of the mindset that makes you do stupid things. But that doesn't mean this kid has to suffer for it. The would-be thief is still frozen in fear, his hand wrapped around that can, the container of food, which probably means everything to him right now. You look him in the eye, you give him the slightest little nod, and you look away. By the time you look back, he's gone, and so's the can. Rambling Jen probably won't be too happy about that, but you know you've done the right thing. Great. Time passes, what seems like hours. The crowds that pass you by turn into a formless blur. Once or twice, you look up at the sky to see if you can spot the shifting of the sun behind the thick blanket of clouds. Rambling Jen doesn't come back. Your legs are starting to cramp from sitting in one place. Your eyes are starting to get tired of staring at the same blanket strewn with the same things. Once or twice, a passerby's errant foot knocks something over, or a gust of wind sends a corner of the blanket flying up. Getting on your feet to rearrange it is almost a relief. At least it means you're doing something other than sitting and waiting. Rambling Jen still doesn't come back. You're starting to wonder if something's happened to her. Sure, it'd be pretty weird if a street vendor were to abandon their whole inventory in the middle of the sidewalk, but this is still a dangerous neighborhood, and bad things can still happen to people just going outside. You're starting to wonder if she's ever coming back. Ooh. Ooh. I'm gonna keep sitting here. Even though it's killing my soul, I'm gonna keep sitting here. Because deep down, I'm also really lazy. Tis not cash money, to say the least. Oh my god. The rent cost is not cash money. Clearly she's just talking the ear off someone. I mean, yeah, clearly. Because nothing weird has ever happened in this city. This was not how you planned on spending your day, but the fact is, you're kind of committed now. I need to see this through now. The stuff on this blanket probably represents everything Rambling Jen owns, and if you don't look after it, it'll probably all be stolen inside half an hour. Sure, you can say that's not your problem. You can say that she took too long getting back to you, but you doubt that it's going to make her any less angry if she comes back to you and all of her stuff is gone. If you're lucky, she'll assume that you just flaked on her. If you're not, she could just as well assume that you were the one who stole it all. That's the kind of assumption which makes you enemies, and you've got enough people wanting you dead already. Thank you very much. I can fit more of them. Another half an hour passes, the sidewalk starts to clear. You can't tell for sure, but it feels like it's getting darker, like the day is drawing to an end. You can't help but wonder what you're gonna do if the sun goes down and, hey good, you're still here. Rambling Jen pushes her way through the crowd, looking all kinds of out of breath. Sorry, I came back as fast as I could. Turns out there was a bunch of other forms that I had to fill out before I could properly fill out that one, and they needed my ID for that, which meant that I had to go all the way back to my place for it. She explains, though you're not sure why. That means they made me walk all the way back, then over again, but it turns out they need a government issue ID, and that records from the phone company didn't count, so... Are you done? You interject, trying as hard as you can to keep a hold on your remaining patience. I have to go. Oh, yeah, sure, she replies. Just let me... Jen cuts in a new voice belonging to a broad-shouldered man who pushes through the crowd like an icebreaker. Been looking for you. He eyes the vendor like a wolf staring down a cornered rodent. Jangles wants his money, he continues as he advances towards the two of you. He's been waiting long enough. Don't worry, you'll have it, the vendor replies as she seems to shrink to half her size. I just went to the welfare office and got all the paperwork sorted out. Did you know that? Enough. The man, the enforcer, snaps, sharply enough to stop Rambling Jen mid-ramble. When? The vendor swallows hard. Next Wednesday? He shakes his head. Not waiting that long. He names an amount, not a lot, but more than the vendor can afford. Now. I'd love to help, but I don't know how I can. I better just slip out. I'm not Okay. Hang on. Jangles the Moon Monkey. That's a great Fallout reference. Which I think you made that last time when I played the demo, now that I think about it. Okay. Alright. Here's the deal. Here's the situation. I'm altruistic in the way where I'd sit on my butt on the sidewalk and watch your stuff for you, like, no matter how long you're gone, apparently, because the sunk cost fallacy, as you said, I just want to see it through. I don't want to offer my services to the guy who I stole food from, because I think if I finds out that I stole food from him, whatever it is that he wants me to do I can only see it going a bad way. I mean, I could think of a nice turnaround where he's like, well, you know, we'll call it even, but I don't know if crime lords do a lot of let's call it evens. So I'm gonna leave. You stand up and take a step back. As much as you'd like to help pull rambling Jen out of this mess, you have no idea how. And you know that trying to get yourself involved now will only make it worse. As much as you'd hate to leave the street vendor hanging like this, you know that you've got nothing you can do. Best thing to do now is make a quiet exit and, hey kid, what more does she want from me? She hisses at you. Help me out here. Looks like it's not going to be that easy. I'm going to pretend like I don't hear her and just keep walking. Bye-bye. No, fuck this. You spent enough time helping. You spent your entire day helping. Now she wants even, and this is the person that they want me to join their hunter cell? Why? You spent enough time helping. You spent your entire day helping. Now she wants even more help from you? No, you've helped enough. You just keep walking. Help, please, Jen's shouting now, a tinge of desperation in her voice. I'm making friends, guys. Look at this. Eyes in the crowd turn towards you. You try to ignore them, even though you know it's probably not going to make you look good, abandoning someone calling for help. At this point, you couldn't care less. You're done. Asshole. You hear her mutter under her breath as you disappear back into the crowd. As if you were the one who'd screwed her over instead of the other way around. As if trying to insult you would do anything to make you change your mind. But you're past caring. All you can think about as you walk away is getting some rest for the night somewhere that isn't here. Okay, let's just break this down. No respect for the elderly. All right, let's break this down. I don't know her. She asked me to watch her stuff for several hours. I did that for nothing. And then she's being extorted by Jangles' crime for who the fuck knows. Why the fuck would you escort a street vendor? Extort. And then she looks to me to help her. Help her how? Help her how doing what? What the hell? I am also on the outs. No. I'm not meant for friends. The next day brings a genuine surprise. The sun. That voice I was doing for Jen hurt my voice. Oh god. I've made no friends. Vancouver doesn't see much sunlight. You'd be lucky to see it for more than a few weeks in summer. For the rest of the year, your choice usually comes down to clouds or rain. Sometimes in the middle of winter, it snows, which is enough to make everyone screech to a halt, seeing as the city only has like 5 snowplows and almost all the road salt in the province is hoarded in a warehouse by the mayor of Coquitlam for some reason. I remember our name. Friends are yucky. Our name is Hannah. I don't know why, but I remember that's our name. Our name's Hannah. It's fine. It's not important. But today is the opposite of snowy. It's warm and bright, and for the first time in a long time, you feel genuinely safe. Under sunlight, the city seems different. Dark alleys become bright and open. The stained and grimy concrete turns almost to white marble. Vampires can't come out in the sun, or so everyone seems to think. Excuse me. Which means for once, you aren't looking over your shoulder every other second, expecting a dark shape to spring at you from an alleyway. Which means today is offering you maybe the most precious resource you could have right now. Time. Time to relax, time to explore, time to prepare. I don't have any money. All right, let's find out if Mandy's found out anything new. I definitely remember who Mandy is. For sure. It's not Fleur de Lis is the other one. Mandy's the other person. So there's my name. I said I remembered it, Hannah. Oh, I remembered it before the screen moved. I'm a genius, actually. I'm not stupid at all. We have a name. Let's forget it by the next stream. It isn't hard to find Mandy. Most of the people you ask on the street seem to know her by name, and even the ones who don't still know that cheerful young black lady by sight. You eventually track her. Oh, God, sorry. My nose was like super stuffed up. Allergies. You eventually track her down to the edge of Downtown Eastside, where the dilapidated concrete and broken windows yield to something more solid, more hopeful. There you find her standing next to a big sky blue van. 2 other young women are with her, both in shirts matching the color of the van with logos you can't quite make out, wearing the kind of smiles that people have to be coached into maintaining. 3 of them are loading packages into a wire-framed hand cart one by one until the contents bulge against the silver metal cage walls and threaten to topple over the edge. As you approach, they exchange some final words too indistinct for you to make out. Then the 2 girls in the matching shirts pile into their van and drive off, leaving Mandy by the sidewalk. She looks up as she struggles to get the heavily laden cart under control. Oh, hey, Hannah. Sorry, just give me a minute. She remembered my name. She must like me. No, why does it give me these choices? Because I'm gonna pick them. I'm just not gonna do anything while she loads the cart. I'm just gonna wait. You wish you knew how to help Mandy with the cart, but you really don't have any ideas. It's not like the stupid thing's designed for more than one person to pull. So, is how I reason to myself. Is what I'm going to tell Satan when I go to hell. So all you can really do is sit and wait while the young woman gets the thing under control. Got it, you ask? What advice? Like a dad who just has a new kid and the mom is there and she's exhausted. She hasn't slept more than like 2 hours in a week. And the and he comes home and he's like, you gotta change that baby's diaper. That's me. Got it, you ask, when it finally looks like she has the spindly wire contraption steady. She hefts the cart experimentally one last time, then nods. I think so, though it is going to be an absolute motherfucker to keep this thing stable all day. Not with all the places I have to take it. Speaking of, she glances at her phone, we gotta get going if we want to hand out all these before sunset. She turns around back toward the Downtown Eastside. Come on, follow me. She's too nice. She's too nice. She's gonna regret that I ever met her. How could you do this, Honey says to the game, picking the worst options. But if they give me the option, I have to pick it because I have to see what is gonna happen. I love is it obvious that the choice of games are my favorite things in the world? I might like them even more than I like playing the tabletop. And I have run tabletop games for World of Darkness for 5 years without taking a break. And I think I like these even more. They make me so happy. Together, you and Mandy head back in with the cart behind you, but you don't get far. Almost as soon as you step back into the Downtown Eastside, a woman in an old puffy green coat approaches, a little girl trailing behind her. The lines on her face say 50. Huh. But with the way this part of the city ages people, you can't imagine she's more than 35. I have never... That's so weird. Maybe I'm the weird one, which is probably correct. I have never looked at a person and went like numbered their age in my head. I don't think I've ever done that. What a weird... do people do that? Am I just... Okay, whatever. Mandy's face seems to light up when she sees them. Farida, Aurora, hi. Miss Torrington? The woman asks, furtively, almost desperately. Are those? She looks from side to side nervously. Can we? Take one, Mandy replies. And call me Mandy, please. You call me by my last name and you sound like my mom telling me I'm in trouble. The older woman doesn't answer. Instead, she almost snatches one of the packages out of the cart. Only after it's safely tucked into her coat does the desperate, almost feral look leave her eyes. Thank you, Mandy. She looks down at her daughter. Say thank you, Aurora. Thanks, Mandy, the kid says with a toothy grin. Mandy smiles back. No need to thank me. Just stay safe, both of you, okay? But before the older woman can reply, someone else has taken her place. Ooh, look at that. There are 3 or 4 of them all now, all crowding around the cart. Mandy hands out packages into eager hands one by one. Some of them stay to say thank you before scurrying away. Others run without a word, as if afraid they'd lose their gift if they didn't stash it away somewhere safe. Some of them don't even wait to open their packages, tearing the brown paper wrapping open to reveal plastic clamshells of sliced avocados, cylindrical containers full of cold roast beef, boxes of crackers. Mandy doesn't seem to mind. She hands out each parcel with a look of satisfaction on her face, as if she were the one getting gifts instead of bringing them. Contacts updated, Grace Amanda Torrington. Huh. How do we know her first name's Grace? Mandy is short for Amanda, and that's not just me being a genius. My name is Amanda. And I hate when people call me Mandy. So how do we know her name's Grace? Are we psychic? Why? Yeah, but I'm awful at telling ages beyond. That's literally a kid. Right, right. That's literally a kid. Right. Yeah, if I see like a child, I don't go in my head like, well, that's a child under the age of 10, or that's like, I think I have like baby, child, probable teenager, and then everyone else is just like whatever. I don't. maybe if they go so far the other way, then I'll be like old person or elderly person. But I never look at someone and go, you look like you're 42. That's never a thing that I ever think. I could not get a. Okay, I have two options here of being a real jerk. Either I can go, are you done handing out food to the less fortunate? I have someone who attacked me the other night, and then I didn't want your help then, but I want it now. Or I could just be like, okay, are we leaving or what? And I think that's worse somehow. I don't know why. The two of you keep going down streets which have become almost familiar over the last few days. Every so often, Mandy will stop and wait for figures to bundle out of doorways, alleys, and shelter entrances. They take their parcels, some thanking her, some simply scurrying away. A few times, Mandy asks them if they've seen anything strange over the course of the past few days. Some of them don't answer at all. Others mention dead animals, a knife fight behind a dumpster, someone overdosing on an old mattress, the normal depressing pattern of life in a place where hope is often an even shorter supply than cash. But when it comes to the news of your attacker, you hear nothing. Honestly, it's a little frustrating. You'd hope to have gotten something useful out of this by now, aside from a long walk and a few lungfuls of what passes for fresh air. Mandy, on the other hand, seems just fine with how things are going. If anything, she's in a better mood now than when she started. You're beginning to suspect that she'd be doing this even if she wasn't hunting vampires. The cart is still about half full when Mandy suddenly puts her arm in front of you. Hold up a sec. She looks at a young woman with stringy bleach blonde hair huddled against the side of an alleyway. That's Laureline up ahead. Laureline? Yeah, she's been here for only a year or so. She sees things, hears things, some of them in just her head, but some of them are real. She's helped us out before, but Mandy lowers her voice. I need you not to get too pushy around her. She's jumpy sometimes. I haven't asked, but I think she's had some bad experiences before. You might actually want to stay back for this one. She's really not good with strangers either. She sees things like dead people. Hello, thank you for the sub. 14 months. That's so many months. All right. No. All right, fine. If she wants to talk to her, it's fine. It's fine. I didn't even mention my attacker. So I didn't mention my attacker in the last part, and I haven't mentioned my attacker once since meeting up with Mandy. The game's sort of like trying to make me bring it up. And I'm not going to, because I'm going to pretend like I have everything under control. So I'll be like, yeah, sure, whatever. I'm just hanging out. I'm just trying to make friends. I'm not looking to join your little club. Because I'm trying to make the game hate me and then kill me. Mandy flashes you a little smile, serious and gracious at the same time. Thanks. She rummages in the cart for a moment and pulls out one of the larger packages. I'll be right back. Slowly, she walks over to the woman huddled in the shadows. Huddled in the shadows. After a moment, she sits down next to her and hands over the parcel wrapped in brown paper. They talk softly, gently. Mandy reaches out to hold her hand. Your fellow vampire hunter. Hey, I'm not a vampire hunter. Stop railroading me. Ask something. The woman nods, then shakes her head, then talks in a voice just a little too quiet for you to hear. The two of them hug, then Mandy comes back. She shakes her head. Nothing useful this time, sorry. Worth a shot, you suppose. I bet if I was there, I might have heard something that would have rang a few bells, but I have no intuition skill. Please engage with the story, the game yells while crying. No. I want to push it. It's even throwing things in there that so far I haven't engaged in, like calling me a vampire hunter. I literally said no to joining up with them. So no. By the time even the leader who brought me breakfast and coffee was super nice. I was like, get out of here, old man. But by the time you've gone another block, the cart is only a quarter full. It's getting worse, Mandy says, as another person takes one more parcel out of the dwindling pile at the bottom of the wire basket. When I started doing this, I could make 2 circuits of the whole neighborhood and still not get this whole thing empty. Now? She shakes her head. Excuse me. Why now all of a sudden, you ask? What, you think you were the only one who got thrown out onto the street when the cops raided the park encampment? You were there. How many people do you think were calling that place home? I don't know, only think about myself, apparently. You do some quick math in your head. About 50 tents, 10 or 15 of them large enough for 4 or 5 people. Call it 100, 120? Yeah, so that's 100 people the cops cut loose in the middle of the night with no lifelines, no way out, and almost none of the stuff they had before. Now they're all here without food or jobs or homes. Mandy's face twists in disgust. The people who own stores and houses out by the park might pat themselves on the back for keeping their property values high and getting rid of that eyesore of an encampment, but we're the ones paying the price of their unobstructed views. What made you think of doing all this anyway? Everyone knows the Downtown Eastside is in bad shape, like it's not a state secret or anything, Mandy explains. I know people suffer out here. I've known since I was a kid, but growing up surrounded by all the wealth all the privilege and all the power, and not using that to do something about these folks who were struggling just to eat not half an hour's drive away. That felt wrong, you know? Like, she lets out a long breath. When you know something bad's happening and you have the power to do something about it, aren't you morally obligated to at least try? Hashtag unrelatable content. Stop being a dirtbag and start being Van Helsing. It's even more hilarious because you're a storyteller. I know. I know. I have amazing players who always, when I splatter a bunch of stuff on the ground and they try and pick up as much of it as they can. I have amazing players who've never not tried to not engage with my story or be obstinate or anything like that. That has never happened. But it's fun. It's fun to do this knowing that the story actually isn't getting its feelings hurt. I hope. It's fun to be naughty. But moving out here, that seems a bit drastic. To be honest, you almost find it hard to believe that anyone would give up a big house in a nice neighborhood to live out here on purpose. But Mandy doesn't. I had to. If I wanted to make sure I was making a difference, I'd have to be out here, helping people with my own hands and knowing they'd be helped. She shakes her head angrily. Otherwise, I might as well just be putting a hammer and sickle emoji next to my blue sky handle and yelling about it on the internet like every other useless edgelord in my MBA course. Paul Wang definitely spends a lot of time on leftist spaces on the internet because it do feel like that sometimes. A lot of times. I could be okay. This is where it starts, right? At least yelling on the internet raises awareness. That's where it starts. That's where it starts. You know, the best way to help people is to fight internally with each other. That's what I always say. Why not just give money to a charity or something? All right, say I give money to a charity instead, Mandy replies. I slip a couple hundreds in a donation box and walk away, pat myself on the back for feeling like I made a difference. Then what? You catch her drift immediately. Where does the money go after that? I know where some of it goes, Mandy answers sourly. My dad runs a charity. If you knew how much he gets paid, how much he pays himself, oh man. Her voice trails off. She gives you a look that's almost sheepish, as if she's caught her feelings getting away from her. Maybe I don't know how charities work. I know there's non-profit charities, and I don't know if that's just like a term that's added to it for, let's be honest, tax purposes if something's not profit. Do chairmen of charities get paid? Yeah, that's what I mean. That's tax for. Is there a situation where a charity can be paid from charitable donations? Is that illegal anywhere? Or am I just too dumb and I don't know how anything works? Which is, again, can't stress enough, I'm not that smart, and it might exactly be that. a lot of questionable stuff happen. I mean, yeah, you hear like charities, like investigative journalists look into charities and find, fraudulent things all the time. But she's just saying it like, I don't know. So yeah, she finally says after a deep breath, if I'm going to help, I'm going to do it face to face with my own hands so I know where that help is going. What's our next stop? Where are we going? Where we take the show on the road? My understanding is people can be paid. Just any extra money has to be put back into the charity. I believe, if you say so, I believe you. I actually have no idea how the structures of charities work. Like really, really, I mean, you have to imagine like really, really big ones like St. Jude's or, I'm blanking on, I used to know a ton, like Helping Hands, like really big charities, like famous ones. Like when I don't know if they do this anymore because I haven't lived in the States for over a decade, but like when you go to the grocery store and they say, do you want to donate such and such an amount to whatever charity the grocery store is participating in, like, you have to imagine that running a charity like that is essentially a full-time job. So do they get paid or do they not? Or like, is it all philanthropic? Like a board of trustees or something? I have no idea. I'm not smart. These are questions for smart people, not me. Next, Mandy looks up past the next street. Okay, don't freak out. Why would I? She raises a hand. We're gonna have to go inside that. The thing she points at isn't so much a building as it is a desiccated skull made of brick and concrete. The doorway and windows are gaping black holes without even boards or the remains of frames to harken back to a time when it was once fit for human habitation. It might have been a hotel once, or a boarding house, or even another theater, but it's been so long since it was used for anything that you can't really tell any more than you could tell how many times a skeleton dug up from a medieval battlefield had cheated on his wife. What a great description. Honestly, it's kind of a miracle the thing hasn't fallen over on its own yet. But Mandy doesn't seem deterred. If anything, she's moving toward the dark maw of the entranceway even faster. Don't make any sudden movements, she says as she pulls up to the doorway. Don't make any loud noises or shine any lights around. Let me handle this. We'll be fine. Fuck. You hope so. Don't startle anyone. Don't go in banging cymbals, okay? I'm scared about that. The sounds of passing traffic and sidewalk conversations fade as the two of you step through the empty doorway, almost as if the walls were shutting them out. You step forward slowly, probing with your feet to avoid the debris cluttering the entry hall. Bare concrete with only scraps of the wood and carpet which once spread over it. Mandy leads you in the cart around piles of refuse so big that they almost seem like snowbanks. Mounds of discarded beer cans and styrofoam cups up to your shoulder. Oh wow, styrofoam cups. I haven't thought about styrofoam cups in so long. I can't remember the last time I've seen a styrofoam cup. Someone's been using this place as a garbage dump for a long time. But if they still are, they don't seem to be around now. This darkness is eerily silent, the echo of your steps and the rattle of the cart's wheels the only sounds. The motes of dust and the dim light the only things you can see. A sharp crackling sound breaks the silence. You look down to see the smashed shell of a needle under your shoe, one of dozens sprawled across the concrete. Hello? Mandy calls out, "It's me. I brought food." Why is this so unsettling? Her voice echoes against the bare walls, bouncing off into the darkness. For a moment, there is only silence again. Then a scraping sound, somewhere in the maze of empty rooms. It comes from your left, then your right, then dead ahead. A face appears out of the darkness, deathly pale, slack-jawed, dull blue eyes staring out from gaunt features, perched atop a body that seems more corpse than human, ribs visible under a bare chest over worn, baggy sweatpants. Another one appears, then another, and another, until they surround you on three sides, and start shuffling slowly forward. I'm sorry, what? I brought food. Some charities get funding from the government or donors. They are allowed to use donated money how they wish, as long as they try and do actual charity work and get scummy real fast, depending on the charity organization. It sounds like it when the structure of trustees and the payment structure is this wishy-washy. It sounds like it's just begging to be, defrauded. Let's see. What are we doing? I get ready to fight. You step forward, squaring your shoulders and raising your fists as you eye each of the 4 emaciated figures approaching you, sizing them up for a fight that now seems inevitable. They don't look like much, but for all you know, their slow advance might just be an act. The vampire who attacked you didn't look all that physically impressive either. These guys? Even if those spindly arms don't have superhuman strength, you'd be hard-pressed to fight 4 of them. But that doesn't mean you're not going to put up a fight, especially if... Hey. Mandy sets her hand on your shoulder and pulls you back, gently but firmly. It's okay, I got this. Are you sure? She nods. I'm sure. Somehow, Mandy thinks that these guys aren't a threat. Maybe she knows something you don't. You step back. Mandy steps forward as soon as you step back, picking out a package from the bottom of the cart. Slowly, gently, she extends it towards one of the figures, her face open and inviting until a spindly, death-pale arm covered with needle marks old and new reaches out to grab it. Bony fingers clutch the brown paper. The figure, the man, looks at Mandy with questioning, almost pleading eyes. I'm so confused. She nods back, her smile a mask fighting to keep the look of pity from her features. She takes another package from the cart and gives... Are they just part of the term? Are they just junkies? I mean, what are we doing here? She takes another package from the cart and gives it away to another and another and another until because I'm having a hard time believing that a person like Hannah who's lived on, because the way she's describing it makes it sound very different than if they are simply just heroin addicts. Because I feel like she would be fairly used to the sight if she lived on the street. 2 of them retreat back to the shadows. The other 2 keep staring at her as if not quite sure what just happened. Mandy smiles that strange little smile again. I'll see you in a few days. Take care of yourselves, she says quietly. Then she steps back again, slowly, gently pulling the cart behind her, navigating carefully around the discarded cans and broken needles and all the other trash. You follow until at last the cart's wheels clatter back onto the concrete of the sidewalk and you feel the light of day on your face again. You let out a breath. You hadn't realized you've been holding it this whole time. Right. What's next? what are we doing? I'm so confused. Not much, Mandy replies, glancing at the nearly empty cart. Come on, let's keep going. The next few minutes make for surprisingly easy going, even with the sidewalks as filled as they are. The people in your way seem to move aside as soon as they see Mandy and her cart. You suppose that if they were known to be working for a vicious gang lord, people would try to stay out of your way too, no matter how open and friendly you are personally. Yeah. Hey, Hannah. Mandy's voice pulls you back out of your thoughts. Yeah? Do me a favor, count up the packages left in the cart for me, will ya? Your eyes narrow. Why? Oh, because I want to know how many packages we got left? She sighs. Come on, it'll take like 10 seconds. I suppose there's no point in arguing now. You make a quick tally of the remaining packages, but you keep one eye on Mandy, which is how you catch her stepping over to a crosswalk light pole to tear down a piece of paper taped to it. The instant she sees you looking, she hides the paper behind her back with an expression that is almost like nervousness. Something's up and part of your head is just screaming at you to find out what it is. Yeah, let's find out what it is. There's probably no way you're going to get a look at whatever's in Mandy's hand now, probably because she's already stuffing it down her shirt, jeez, to where you obviously can't get at it. This is nothing. But if one copy was up, then chances are there's going to be others posted around nearby. So you keep your eyes peeled as the 2 of you continue down the sidewalk, looking carefully at the walls, lampposts, crosswalk poles, and anything else that might have flyers or posters taped to it, which, to be honest, is just about everywhere. In the time it takes to go 15 meters, you see meters. That's how you know we're in Canada or Europe. You see posters for concerts, ads for erectile dysfunction medication, a call to protest something. The rain's already obliterated that part. Your eyes swim amidst the swirl of colors, letters, logos, and slogans, all painted over with the dull sheen of a city where rain is less a weather pattern and more a constant. Then there. Mandy's already walking towards it, a piece of paper taped almost haphazardly to a wall. You're only able to see it for a second, but that's long enough to make out the word missing and an image of Mandy's face printed underneath. Boom. Newsflash. I don't want to talk about it, Mandy says, as she stuffs the second copy down her... Was she patting her bra? Down her shirt to join the first. Let's just say there are people who don't want me to be here, and I really don't want to deal with their bullshit right now. She doesn't outright accuse you of trying to figure out what she's trying to... I'm sorry. They're posted in public. But the undertow of frustrated anger in her voice makes it pretty clear that she doesn't appreciate it in the least. What? You know what? I'm just going to give up on making friends. Screw them. This is what friends are like. Forget it. Which means she's probably not in the mood to get questions. Yeah, I don't want to ask her any questions about it. I'm over her. I'm over it. By the end of the afternoon, the cart is almost empty. One of the huge pile of brown wrapped packages you started the day with, only 4 or 5 remain, huddled and lonely in a corner of the wire basket of a cart which seemed too small at first, but now feels far too big. For a while, you try to look out for any more people to hand out food to and any more people who might have some information on your attacker. But you get nothing in either case. With the skies darkening, the sidewalks are already almost empty. Only those who have no homes to hide in are still out, and judging by the expression on some of them as you pass by, none of them are in any mood to answer any questions. Damn, Mandy finally says after you crisscross the neighborhood one last time, just to be sure. I really thought someone would have seen something. She gives you a rueful smile. Sorry. It's fine. I didn't come here asking about anything. I just came here because it was an option on the thing. I guess today was a waste of time then. Thanks, Mandy. I mean, we gave all those people that food, but thanks. I love calls. Welcome in. Choice of games are like everything to me. I love them so much. I love just picking the worst options just to see what happens. Not to the people we fed, Mandy replies. We probably made sure that something like 100 people got to eat today. That's not a waste of time to me, and it shouldn't be to you. Well, it is. There's a vampire probably trying to kill me. I don't have a lot of time to spend. Mandy looks you in the eyes. We tried our best to find stuff out about him, didn't we? And even if we didn't, we've still helped people. People who might be able to help us later down the line. She looks at the small pile of food packages left in the cart. Speaking of which, I know you're still settling into your new place and you probably haven't had much time to find some food. If you want, you could take what's left in the cart. There's probably at least 3 or 4 days worth in there if you want it. Your eyes narrow. What's the catch? There isn't one, Mandy replies. I want to make sure I can do everything I can to help. If you're short on food, take what you need. Oh. I don't need your handouts. I'm gonna steal from restaurants and vendors on the street. Screw you. Mandy's eyes narrow. Hey, you don't have to do this, you know. Do what? It's not shameful to need help, especially after all you've been through, she explains. My emotional whiplash is out of control. You don't have to pretend to be, I don't know, built different or something just out of pride. I'm not pretending, you insist. Give that food to someone who needs it. I can handle myself. I walked away from someone harassing a street vendor like a real hero. Mandy gives you a look that is half frustration and half something like admiration. Fine, if you want to play it like that, I know people who could use the food and who won't complain about it. It means they can't... and who won't complain about it how it means they can't pull themselves up by their bootstraps. Good, that's all I asked for. Alright, I guess I'll see you later then. Yeah. Hey, Hannah? Huh. Thanks. Honey, maintaining eye contact with the game will be the worst possible person they could be. Look. I just want to know. Because here's how it works. I look at this as if I'm the storyteller, right? And I imagine one of my players making these decisions. And I'm like, what would I do in the moment? Improv. I'm like, I want to know what Paul Wang wrote for these instances. I crave to know. And in fact, it's one of the things that gets me out of bed in the morning. Is knowing that another Choice of Games game is coming. And I get to do this all over again. It's the best feeling ever. I can't go shopping. I don't have any money. Maybe I should see what Will is up to. Oh my god, the curmudgeonly old guy who I think is really cute. Yeah. By the time you find him, Will Royce is already drunk. Nice. Just my type. You can still smell it 10 meters off from the door to the oversized prop room he uses as a home. The stink of stale beer and the sharper smell of harder alcohol wafting through the creaking corridor. You hear it too, the clinking of glass and the low muttering of someone giving voice to his thoughts, through a buzz so loud that he has to speak them to hear them, and through a fog so heavy that only he can really understand what he's saying. It's barely 11 a.m. Icon. You find him sitting on a makeshift throne, a ratty old armchair surrounded by discarded and mostly empty cans of beer, flanked by the rickety wooden shelves that once, long ago, had been used to store props. Now they're home to piles of dusty boxes, big enough to shield the room's single occupant from the light peering through the solitary window. The muttering stops the second you step inside. You hear the scrape of shoes against the concrete and the high clinking of a glass bottle. "Who's there?" comes the challenge, resigned but filled with tension, the voice of a man expecting a fight, no matter how much he doesn't want one. "It's me," you call out. "Hannah." For a moment you hear nothing, then a shifting, the sound of someone sitting back down into an old chair and a low, almost deranged chuckling. "Oh yeah, you poor asshole. Have you started to realize just what kind of immense reservoir of shit you've fallen into yet?" "It's 11 a.m. How are you drunk already?" Another low chuckle. "Listen, kid, if you knew what I knew, seen what I seen, and heard what I've heard, you'd be drunk all the time too." What the hell is that supposed to mean? He chuckles again. "I know what you're thinking. Who is this bitter old asshole and why is he making assumptions?" Not what I'm thinking. Not at all. What I'm thinking I can't say out loud. "It's because I know. I know it's because I got thrown into this the same way you did. Only I did a year of training and $500,000 of equipment. Now fucking look at me. Or don't. You probably shouldn't." I'm dying. I probably look like absolute boiled dog shit right now. I don't know, let me in so I can see. Another clink of the glass, the sound of liquid sloshing in it. A second clink, the bottle now sounding emptier than before. "You're thinking that won't be me right now." It's not what I'm thinking. Evil play for the first playthrough, then play good guys because it's harder. Yes, absolutely. "Give 5 years, 10. Check back with me if you're still alive, or if I am. The shit we've both gotten ourselves into doesn't exactly preserve our life expectancy." Exactly, so we should live for the now. Let me in. "Okay, how do I get myself out of it?" She completely changes her voice to talk to them. Stop it. There's something wrong. Something deeply, severely wrong with me. Will answers with a look of impossibly deep, bottomless pity. Oh my god. Stop salivating. "You don't. You never can. Don't you fucking get it? That asshole that attacked you the other night, the worst thing he did to you wasn't trying to kill you. It was showing you he existed, him and the rest of the blood-sucking shitheads that crawl around in the middle of the night. You can see him now, the naked shadow of half of the world we live in. And now you know it's full of goddamn monsters who want to kill and eat you. A secret world, a world of darkness." Bim, 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 bim. They said it. Drop. Cut it. We did it. They said the thing. With every part of it licking their chops at the idea of hunting you and me down for funsies and cutting up our carcasses for table scraps. I'm in love with him. I'm gonna marry him. I know what you're thinking, and that will get our game pulled for an adult rating. Yeah. Bottomless. You're saying you're looking for a sub. Aside now, a long drawn-out thing followed by the clink of a bottle. "You can't escape that. That's just the world we live in. The only difference is that you know about it now. You can't get yourself out of it because there's no way out. All you can do is forget for at least a few hours. I can help you forget everything for a few hours." Alright. I'll bite if you want me to. What have I gotten myself into? Stop. Why am I just going through all the questions? "A war," Will replies. "War never changes." There are box-filled shelves. "I know what you're thinking. That you're gonna find the asshole that attacked you, ram a chair leg through his heart and watch him turn to dust. And then you get out, back to doing whatever the fuck you were doing before." He chuckles again. "There is no getting out of this. You know that fear you feel in the back of your head? The one that grabs at you every time you remember you're being hunted?" No, you reply shakily. I don't know what you're talking about. Don't lie to me, kid. I can hear it in your voice. He growls. Is setting me up. The author's setting me up. That feeling's never gonna go away. The guy that attacked you, he's the tip of the fucking iceberg. It's not just one monster out there, it's a whole goddamn world of them. All looking to grind up your organs into an all-natural organic smoothie. You start to know what to look for. You start seeing the monsters in the dark, all of them. You start realizing just how much power they got and just how much they fucked up our little world without most of us knowing. That's not even the worst part. Oh, you gonna tell me? You gonna tell me the worst part? And you start seeing the monsters in daylight too, and you realize the two aren't all that different. And I'm supposed to what? Just take your word for all this? Yeah. Sorry. I amuse. You know what? It's fine if no one else thinks I'm funny. I amuse myself all the time. Will replies as if an explanation would be just a waste of time. Yeah, you are. Any reason why? Because I've seen it happen before again and again and again. You hear the scraping of shoes against the floor again, the creaking of boards, the heavy, uneven footfalls of someone staggering to his feet and walking closer. Oh my god, he's getting closer. I've seen it happen to kids, old men, to tough guys who think they're fucking invincible. I've seen it happen up close, at a distance, and in a goddamn mirror. He rounds the last shelf and stands face to face with you. His dark eyes dark circled and sleepless and heavy with pity. And I've seen it happen more times than everyone else in this building put together. More than Zheng? He's like 3 times your age, because I actually don't think that you're that old. I just think you're like beekeeping age, and I actually find that really attractive. Last time I made choices like these, I was reading a blood play scene aloud on stream, so good luck. Oh, wonderful. Excellent. I'm looking forward to it. It's probably just one vampire, and once we take care of them, then we can go back to living in a tent. Yeah, exactly. Right? Like, God, he's so dramatic. He just needs a little kiss. Zheng hasn't left the city since World War II ended. World War II ended in 1945. My father was born in 1945, and he's like, what, 80 now? Okay, what's up with the old man? Hang on. The old man lives here. It's his home. Will replies, pitching the last word like almost like an insult. He lived through war as a kid and decided he wanted to be as far away from it as possible, inside and out. Okay, he was a kid in 1945. How young? Hang on, something's... So that is an old man. Yes, okay, something's fishy here. He sits here in this low corner of downtown and pretends it's the whole world, because if he does that, he can pretend he's at peace. The world's at peace. So what's the difference between you and him, besides that you're like way younger and sexier? Aside from about 55 years, Will scowls, the fact that I was a goddamn professional. The old man walked away from this shit as far as anyone could walk away from this shit. I walked into it, volunteered, put on the stab vest, and did this for a fucking living. I let him pull me out of my shitty little life, let him show me the horrors behind the curtain, and then told me I could save the fucking world. He staggers back to his chair and collapses into it. Oh my god, can I sit on his lap? As if that answer had taken everything out of him. Turns out the world doesn't need saving. The world is just like this, and the last thing anyone wants is... If I sit on his lap, I'd fix him, I swear. With a loose, flailing arm, he snatches the bottle from the floor, the near-empty bottle, and drains it in a single gulp. He lets out a sigh that smells halfway between grain alcohol and kerosene. Listen, kid, you want to check in on how I'm doing? Well, you did that. Now fuck off. You want to talk? Then grab a seat and start drinking. Sure, I'll drink with you. Drinking has never lowered anyone's inhibitions, ever! This could only mean one thing, aliens. I mean, he was a kid. Yeah. So this guy is like 30? I know, he certainly doesn't act like he's 30. 55 years. He doesn't act like he's 30. I don't know. Maybe he doesn't know when World War II ended. Will reaches out to the shelf next to him and pulls a free bottle of clear liquid the size of your forearm with a dark red label and a yellow cap emblazoned with a bright red star. With a single twist of his wrist, he rips the thin metal at the top of the bottle free with a scraping, snapping sound. In one hand, he crushes the cap in his fist and tosses the deformed metal away. With the other, he raises the bottle to his lips and swings the bottle up, drinking the contents as if it were water. It's still 4/5 full when he hands it over to you. All right, drink. Holy shit, you can smell it from here, a fine blend of kerosene and rubbing alcohol. Even at arm's length, you can feel the alcohol fumes scouring your nostrils, burning their way through your sinuses. Does Will expect you to drink this, or stuff a rag in it, light it on fire, and throw it at a Soviet tank? Both? One look at Will's face gives you the answer. He does in fact expect you to drink this somehow. You look down the neck of the bottle, trying very hard not to breathe through your nose. You suppose if you blot out the smell, the stuff looks harmless enough, clear enough to be mistaken for water, so long as you ignore the label and the fumes. Here goes. You raise the bottle to your lips, tip it back, and let it into your mouth. This game, the author is messing with me with that last sentence. Stop. It tastes, for lack of a better term, like flaming ass. Some people are into that. Well, yeah, it said that it had like a sickle and a cross, or sickle and a star, or sickle and a hammer on it. It says something like that. The second it hits your tongue, you can feel it burning the inside of your, or just a star? I'm not sure. The second it hits your tongue, you can feel it burning the inside of your mouth. It's like 100 proof. It stings as it trickles down your throat and pulls in your stomach like acid. You try to keep it together as it works its way down before breathing back out. Oh boy, that was a mistake. Oh, don't embarrass yourself. Your exhaling breath pulls... Don't puke! You're gonna embarrass yourself! Your exhaling breath pulls the fumes from your stomach back up your windpipe, burning the same tubes already smoldering from their first pass. You gag a little as you try to keep your throat from seizing up. The booze-laden air rushes out your open mouth like a stream of fire. By the time you manage to bring it back in, you can feel your face going red. Will's already taken the bottle back. He takes another drink from it without wincing, without coughing, without so much as flinching. What the hell is this guy made of? I don't know. Let's find out, though. All right. Will says, leaning in, here's how this is gonna work. You ask a question, I ask a question. No bullshit, no answers. There are just more questions of funny word games. Got it? Got it. Good. I don't know what I'm doing. He takes another drink from the bottle, then turns it over to you. You know what? I'll be nice. You go first. So, are you actually helping track down the guy that attacked me or what? No, Will answers bluntly. No, I'm not. So then what exactly are you doing here? Kid, what do you think happens when the others eventually do find corner the guy that attacked you? Think they're gonna sit down over coffee and talk about their childhood trauma? Shakes his head. No, when the teenager detective shit ends and the Mortal Kombat music starts playing, how much use do you think two untrained kids and an old man are gonna be? You can't be that old. Like, are you in your 40s? I'm almost 40. Shocking. I know. Because I'm acting extremely immature right now. You have no idea, but you know how much use Will would be. You've seen it yourself. That's why they keep me around. He leans forward, jaw set, as he points a thumb at himself. The others might be able to find the blank that jumped you, but me, I'm the guy who's gonna kill him. Alright, Will replies, my turn. You nod, bracing yourself for whatever he's gonna ask. Tell the truth. You've known us for less than a week, and you're already willing to let your guard down around us. Not really. I just have no other choice. Now, old man Zheng, he's like a wise grandpa, so maybe you got an excuse there. Gaultier and Torrington are just kids. They probably couldn't hurt anyone unless they really had to, but that doesn't explain why you're willing to sit in front of someone like me looking for exits. He leans in, his jaw set forward as if he's about to take a punch. So you tell me, do you actually trust us, or is this all an act? Yeah, that's the question I want to ask. So are you seeing anyone? That's the question I want to ask. Honestly, I don't trust any of you at all. Good. All right, that was the right answer. Good. Well, Grunts, hold on to that feeling. Keep it deep down inside. I'll keep it deep inside of me. Well, more than one thing I want to keep deep inside of me. I'm sorry. Because you might save your life one day. I bet. You raise an eyebrow. Are you telling me not to trust you? You goddamn right. I'm telling you not to trust me, he growls. You don't know who I am. You don't know where I come from. I'd like to. You don't know what I've been through, and you don't know what I want. And you never will, unless I tell you. If I do tell you, then I can say whatever the fuck I want and pretend it's the truth. You don't know if I'm lying to you any more than I know if you're lying to me. Words to live by, assuming I can trust them. Assume what you want. Will answers, I ain't telling you what to do. I'm just telling you what I've seen, what I've lived through, and what I've learned. He spreads his arms out wide. You see this train wreck of a life and you want yours to end up like this? Shit, feel free to do exactly what I did and not listen to a word I tell you about how to steer clear. You want something else? He looks down and shakes his head. Then shit. You're gonna have to find someone who isn't such a goddamn sad sack of shit. But that's my type. I always date Shane in Stardew Valley. He doesn't exactly... He doesn't explain any further. He simply takes another swig from the bottle and hands it back to you. All right, your turn. There is nothing even hinting at flirting. This sucks. How does someone even end up a professional vampire hunter? For a second, Will falls silent, and you even start to suspect that he doesn't hear you right. If he's not a romance option, I'm gonna cry. Then he starts chuckling to himself as if he just told himself some private joke. Totally being pigeonholed into talking about vampires. Thank you. What? The decisions I made to get here, he replies. I can see them now, how I made each choice. But at the time, when out making them, it felt like I didn't have a choice at all. Like it was the only way forward. Railroad tracks towards, well, a train wreck, I guess. So how did it start, you ask? The same way it's ending, I guess, he replies. I grew up surrounded by bitter old men who spend all their time drinking and hollering about how you don't trust nobody except your own people and your own kin. Maybe I ought to listen. Maybe you ought to have. Will answers with a bitter laugh. Hell, I guess they got the last word. Not that I would have believed him at the time. I was young and stupid. I thought the only reason all these old assholes were so broken down and bitter was because they didn't try hard enough, weren't smart enough, weren't strong enough. I wanted to prove them wrong. I wanted to change the world, prove that my people were just as good as any other. So you joined the RCMP, Royal Cavalry Mounted Police? Is that correct? Is that right? Yeah, why are they talking about vampires in this dating sim? I always wonder that. All my players wonder that when we're playing the tabletop game. Only way for two Métis? I don't know how to pronounce that correctly. Métis kid from the middle of nowhere to make a difference, he answers. The Mounties or the military, and the military had a backlog of recruits 4 years long. So guess which one I picked? The RCMP don't exactly have a happy history with the First Nations, you point out. Any First Nations, but the Métis in particular. I'm so sorry. I don't know anything about... I mean, I know very little, except for my friends who are Indigenous Americans, I know very little about First Nations people in Canada. I've heard of Métis. I can't say that I know anything about the culture of people who are Métis. I'm so sorry. I was super proud of myself for, I think the RCMP stands for Royal Cavalry Mounted Police, but I could be wrong about that. I was super proud of myself for that. I'm so sorry. There's no one Canadian who works at Paradox World of Dark. They work at Paradox, but don't work for the World of Darkness team, who could have played this and been much more knowledgeable. So you're stuck with me. I'm so sorry. How terrible for you all. Yeah, the old drunk said that too. Called me a fucking idiot. Stopped 2 steps short of calling me a fucking traitor. Joining an outfit that was founded to kill us and take our shit. The people who dragged my mom out of her house as a kid, and he waves it off as if it were a bad smell. You've heard about it all, at least if you paid attention in school. But I'm so sorry. But I wanted to prove him wrong, you know, build bridges and all that shit. Okay, so that explains why you joined the Mounties. It doesn't explain how you became a vampire hunter for them. Simple. I volunteered like an idiot. Will replies, 4 years of training, and I'd been stuck on the most boring patrol route in the detachment for 3 of them. Seemed pretty obvious nobody fucking liked me. Why like you? One day the inspector calls me into her office, says that someone high up needed a volunteer for a new assignment. She talked you into it? He shakes his head. Didn't even have to. All she needed to say was tactical training and special team, and that was all it took for me to say yes. His features twists into a grimace. You know, I probably could have avoided all of this if I just said no. Or even if I'd asked questions, but I was too young, too committed, too proud of what I was supposed to be doing, even when I didn't have any reason to be. I trusted myself. I trusted my superiors. I trusted what I was doing was the right thing. He spreads his arms to cover the mess around him. Look where it fucking got me. Excuse me, hiccup. All I really know is the old TV show Due South. I don't even know what that is. All I know is Rocky and Bullwinkle. No! Is that Rocky and Bullwinkle? No, wait. There was a cartoon of a Mountie. And I don't Dudley Do Right? Is that right? Is that from Rocky and Bullwinkle, or am I making that up? Where he was in love with a girl and he'd go no all the time. That's it. That's all I got. I know literally nothing else about Canada. All right, kid, my turn. Will leans forward. What's with all the personal questions? I'm in love with you. What? You heard me the first time. All this stuff about what I'm doing, how I'm feeling, if I'm okay or not. What is that? Is this some kind of plan trying to figure out how I got this fucked up? You playing head games? You trying to get something out of me, huh? Losing the accent somehow? I don't get it. So why all the personal questions? Why do you care? There's not a single one that could even possibly remotely be flirtatious. I want to know who my allies are on the inside. I want to know you from the inside. Stop it. Stop it. This is a Christian channel. Will's lips curl into something like a sneer. Well, like on the inside. You think you can find out just by talking to him? Just asking nicely? Why not? Because when you ask, they get to choose how to answer. They get to decide what part of themselves they want to talk about if they decide to actually tell the truth in the first place. You ask someone about who they are, and if they're telling the truth, they'll tell you who they think they are. If they're lying, you won't even get that. So how do I get to know someone? You want to know someone, you don't ask. Well, he's a genius. I'm in love. You watch and wait until they got their backs against the wall when they think nobody's looking. When they're too distracted or too desperate or too fucked up even to themselves, then you know someone really is. Takes another swallow from the bottle. Your turn. Could you train me to fight like a professional? So, why did you leave the Mounties? 0 out of 10. Too little dating in this game about hunting monsters. Honestly, you'd think by now there would have at least been one to flirt with him. Just one. And I understand he keeps calling me kid, and I hate it. I would be like, stop calling me a kid. I'm a grown-ass woman. I can make my own choices. I have my reasons, Will replies, sinking, no burrowing into his chair, as if even being in the same room as that question makes him uncomfortable. Are you gonna tell me what they are? Maybe one day, he replies, between you and me, it's none of your goddamn business. Oh, he makes me want him more. Will takes another drink from the bottle. It's only a quarter full now, and you can see more empties strewn around his feet. For a second, you have to wonder how he's still conscious right now. But only for a second, because he's already leaning back in, eyes narrow. So you having fun yet? Doing what? Judging me? That's why you came here, isn't it? Or is something you realized you were doing halfway through me? What? Or is it something you realized you were doing halfway through? He spreads his arms as if he was inviting you to hit him. Come see Wilson Royce, the incredible human train wreck. He almost bellows like a stage announcer. 75% Nakota, 25% white, 100% fuck up. Listen to him ramble about how much he hates himself, about how everything he ever did blew up in his fucking face. Then pat yourself on the back and say that as bad as you're doing, you'll never end up like him. That's why you're still here, right? I'm still here because it's your turn to ask a question, you remind him. Kid, he replies, that was my question. I'm not judging you at all. I think you're awesome, and I want to kiss you on the face. Or wherever you want me to kiss you. Your choice. Dealer's choice. Will's eyes narrow into a low burning glower. Don't fucking lie to me, kid. I'm not, you protest. I'm not judging you. Well, maybe you should, he replies sourly. I'm a cautionary tale. All my life, the universe has been telling me not to believe in shit, not to believe in people. All my life, I fucking ignored it. Gave my trust to the wrong assholes. Gave my heart and soul to a cause that didn't want me to accept me as a warm body to bleed for him. Now look at me. Give your heart and soul to me. He leans forward until all you can see are his sleepless, bloodshot eyes. Look at me. The burning wreck of a human being I am. One part hobo, one part stereotype, one part dead man walking. I deserve your fucking judgment, kid. I deserve your fucking contempt, because if I don't get that, you'll make the same mistakes I do. Then it'll be you in this fucking chair giving the same goddamn speech to some other poor kid the world's about to bend over and fuck. This is cruel to me personally. Call him daddy, maybe that'll get him to understand. I would like immediately knocked on his door and been like, hey daddy, you introduce this guy to Sierra, dude will just get his life together. Yes. You're not sure how to respond to that. I'm 100% sure. I know exactly how to respond to that. But Will doesn't miss a beat. He takes another drink from the bottle. There's only a few mouthfuls left and sits back as if he'd been talking about the weather and not about how much he hates himself. Anyway, your turn. This is painful. What the hell is the stuff we're drinking anyway? I don't want to ask anymore about vampires. I don't want to. The game is being cruel. It doesn't let you romance. I want... Will picks up the bottle again and stares at the label. Well, he squints a little and brings it closer. Huh, that's funny. What? It's in Chinese, he replies. Zheng gave it to me, so I guess you'll have to ask him. All I know is that it does the job, and I didn't have to pay for it. That's good enough for me. For a moment, Will falls almost completely silent, so quiet that you can hear the sound of the people outside. The buzz of the theater's clutched together electrical systems. He doesn't say anything, he simply looks at you, eyes unfocused. You okay? He lets out a sigh. You really want to get this bastard, don't you? Meh! What? Unless you're the bastard, unless you speak of yourself in third person. That's why you're here. That's why you've spent a whole goddamn day letting a broken down old man growl at you. Because you think I've got some secret... I'm going to jump out my window. You got some secret sauce that'll help you turn the tables on the guy that tried to kill you. I'm going to jump out my window. He lets out a sigh. Did Zheng tell you to come talk to me? Tell you that I knew shit about slot and banks that might help you? I bet he did. Old men always wanted to be helpful. But you do know things. You fought these things for years and you won. You said so yourself. Yeah, look where it got me. Oh my god. I know. Let me kiss it and make it better. Will leans forward far enough for him to teeter out of the chair. You want the win, I get that. I've been there. Question is, how far are you willing to go to get it? What are you willing to sacrifice? I'm willing to go all the way. All the way. I don't know, I guess I'll find out, because obviously I can't kiss you. See, he's leading in, he's giving consent, right? I don't think he can give consent, I think he's too fucking drunk. This sucks. Will's eyes narrow. Is this a fucking game to you, kid? What? This isn't fucking... Stop calling me a kid, alright? I'm not a child. This isn't fucking summer camp, kid. Don't you realize that? Will leans forward, almost snarling. This isn't a neat and tidy little adventure. You go at the end of the meeting, some new friends, and learning how to weave baskets. The second that I'm not interested in any of those activities. I'm interested in more adult activities. Second that Blank showed you his fangs, your whole life ended. This whole world of monsters in the dark, this war, this is your life now. And the only day you're ever going to escape is the day you fucking die. If you go into this not knowing what your limits are, you're going to end up a stain on a wall somewhere, and so are the people counting on you. His hand reaches out, stabbing a single extended finger in your collarbone. Oh my god, he's touching me. Best day ever. You don't know what you're willing to give up? How much in blood, sweat, and sleep are you willing to give? Find out and do it before you get yourself or anyone else killed. Are we like 18-year-old, age of 32-year-old? I know! It's killing me! With a furious, almost desperate intensity, Will picks at the bottle one last time, drains it completely until the last drop of the clear liquid inside drip out into his mouth. For a second, you're afraid he's about to throw the thing against the wall like a depressed drunk from a movie. But he isn't. Or maybe Will's seen those movies too. He stops himself before the bottle's halfway up and carefully sets it down at his feet alongside a half dozen others. Your turn. I have nothing. What was it like being a professional hunter? Was it fun? Will chuckles. Would you believe that? For a while, it was the most awesome thing in the world. What? It was? After all the warnings he's been rambling at you this whole time, that was the last thing you expected him to say. It was, he insists. They gave us special training, loaded us out with body armor, night vision, all kinds of gadgets, and shit not even the military gets. That not even the military would get if someone actually funded it. They told us we'd be hunting terrorists, but we all figured it out soon enough. We knew we were fighting some supernatural monster shit, and it made us feel like goddamn superheroes. We went into the dark with big stupid grins on our faces and came back shouting fucking one-liners like action movie characters. It couldn't have been all like that, could it? No, of course not. We lost idiot. We lost people, but they were noble sacrifices. Will answers with a woo, that's a word, grandiloquence, so overblown that it can't be anything more than parody. He raises his bottle so high up that he might as well be making an obscene gesture with it. He set the bottle down and it's empty, but okay. To the glorious dead who fell in battle, fighting for a world free of monsters. He shakes his head. Holy shit, we were so stupid. And it took us so goddamn long to realize how stupid we actually were. Every blank we killed got replaced by another and another. That's what got me. The realization that this fight had been going on forever and it'd keep going on forever. No end, no victory, and that we were all being sent off to die for nothing. He shakes his head again. After that, I guess it was only a matter of time before I wanted out. Will raises the bottle to his lips again. It takes a second to realize it's empty. His features twist into a scowl. Fuck. He's visibly swaying now, and so are you, come to think of it. You may have only had a few mouthfuls, but apparently that's all it takes for the stuff to fuck you up. Hey kid. Get me another one of these. He waves vaguely in the direction of one of the dark corners of the room. Over there, bomb shelf, blue crate. Are you sure? Yeah, I'm sure, he growls. You gonna just sit there because I'm not answering any more questions until you come back with a full bottle. I don't know, I feel like we've answered a lot of fucking questions and none of them I'm really that interested in. Oh, what if I say no more? Because I really don't want to answer any more questions, and also I need to like my I'm going way over the time of the stream. I'm not really in any shape to go looking in the dark right now. I just wanted to get to the end of the chapter. I didn't know this chapter would be this long. Will laughs, not a loud barking laugh, but a soft, almost feathery one, more wistful than mocking. Shit, you only had like an eighth of a bottle. You must be a real fucking lightweight. Does that turn you on? He waves his hand lazily as if trying to brush off anything you might say in reply. I'm not trying to insult you. I used to be like that too, a long time ago. But I learned how to be a real drunk. How? He nods for a moment too long. Yeah, get up slow. Focus on staying upright. Focus on staying on your feet. Hold on to something for balance and try not to think about what your head's gonna feel like tomorrow. You give it a shot, rising to your feet slowly, and shit. You might have felt unstable before. Oh my god, I guess we'll have to sleep over. That had been when you were sitting down. Now you're up. The whole goddamn room is spinning. You reach out with your hand, groping at a shelf, missing the first time. Shit, was it supposed to be that far away? You lurch to the side, your arm reaches out again. Got it. Take a minute to steady yourself, then turn to Will. Alright, I'm up. Any further? But Will is sprawled out in his chair, snoring, the empty bottle still dangling from his fingers. It's just about then that you realize how dark the room's gotten. Sure enough, a look outside the window shows the sun low in the sky. How long have you been here? Long enough, you suppose. Well, it's not going to be answering any more questions, and it's time for you to go. Boo! Sleep over. Okay, so I'm going to stop right here. And I know this is not the end of the chapter, but I have been reading for almost 2 hours, and I still haven't gotten to the end of the chapter. Hopefully, I'm coming back tomorrow. So hopefully there is no update that is going to mess up my progress. But if there is, I'm just going to make the same choices again, which is something that I had to do a million times before, because I can't just save it. Ooh, I haven't even looked at this. This is my actual maiden name. I forgot I did this. That's so funny. Birthplace, out of town. Drive is greed. That's hilarious. I love it. I haven't even looked at this. I have no physical, 3 mental, 1 social. Yeah, that seems about right. Suspicion, 66%. Personal relations. Mandy's not really sure about you. Will's still got his guard up around you. Zheng is watching you carefully. Great. The gangs are keeping an eye on you. The locals think you aren't half bad. Well, that's fine. I'm broke. And I have a little bit of food. Okay, perfect. Perfect. All right. So that's... Because I can't save it, right? Yeah. Yes. So, I'll see everybody tomorrow. Spent too much time watching that old lady stuff, I know. But I want to see what happened. Back tomorrow, see if we can finish this chapter, perhaps. I'm so excited. If I don't get to romance Will in this game, I will just cut the stream and go sit in a corner and cry. But I hope you're having a great week. I'll see you tomorrow if you have the time. And, yeah, stay safe, hunt monsters, don't get drunk with old men who don't want to flirt with you. It sucks. Bye, everybody.